Josh, thanks very much for agreeing to come along and have a conversation about your experience studying Spanish and Portuguese at Queen's. I thought maybe we could start out. You could tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you came to choose to come to study at Queen's and do languages.
Okay, so I am from Russia in England, and I had a bit of an unusual route into Queen's because it wasn't ever somewhere that was on my radar. I was looking at universities in the south of England between my mom and my dad's place, and I was looking at business in Spanish originally. And then it came to results day, and I did really well. I got AAB, but it wasn't high enough to get to my first choice, which was Bath. And then my insurance choice was Surrey, but then they couldn't offer me any accommodation. So suddenly it was then back to the drawing board. I was like, okay, I really want to go to university this year. What can I do? So I then looked into clearing, and I thought, okay, I can always defer my place at Surrey and go next year, but let's see what else is out there. And I approached some unis I'd applied to before, and then Queen's came up as one, and I thought, okay, why have I not considered going somewhere a little bit further afield? I'd never been to Northern Ireland. I'd never been to the island of Ireland before. All that I knew of it was my dad's experience back in the 80s when he was coming over for work, and it wasn't a particularly great reputation at the time. So my parents were a little bit nervous, shall we say. But I sent them an email. The clearing process at Queen's was amazing. I spoke to people in less than 24 hours. Within 24 hours, I had an offer for just straight Spanish. So I flew over to Belfast the next day, had a bit of a tour, and I loved it. I loved Belfast. I thought it was a really sweet city because it's got so much life, but it's not actually that big of a city. It was a lot smaller than a lot of the cities that I'd been to in England, but it had so much more character. So I accepted my place on straight Spanish, and then in my first year, I picked up the Portuguese module, and I had always said, right, I want my year abroad to only be in Spain. I want to go and I want to do a work placement. That is my plan. So I really didn't want to fall in love with Portuguese because then I had to split my year. But I did. I ended up doing really well in the module, and I decided to add it to my degree. And that's kind of how I managed to end up around here.